Hello everyone, welcome back to Cloud's Gotta Have Faith. I'm just readjusting my microphone a second because I know all about preparation. Here we go. It's time to get the Buster Sword today. Probably take down another boss. Hello everyone. Forgot to do my volume again. Welcome back to Cloud's Gotta Have Faith. I'm just readjusting my microphone a second. Seem to keep forgetting that. Oh well. Let's do this. Alright, now as I recall we're in Medulla. We've got the mace. I think we also have a Morning Star we could potentially use. I think I've got enough decks for it now, I would imagine. Where's the Morning Star to? Yeah, I should be fine with that. Can even use it one-handed if I want to. I prefer the Morning Star over the mace, just because... There we go. Just because it does bleed. And bleeding damage is obviously pretty useful. So, anyway. Let's get to moving. How many souls have I got? And have I got any souls left in here? No. Okay. I was going to go and buy a shield, but it doesn't really matter at this point. Can worry about that a bit later. Let's go! This is the really long way, I've just realised. I'm actually going to head back. Or is it? Have I beaten the Dragon Rider yet? Ooh. Maybe I didn't. I've run around the beginning of the game several times, despite this only really being my second proper playthrough. Because I've been working on a lot of speedrun strats and whatnot. So I'm now confusing whether I've actually beaten the Dragon Rider on this save or not. I don't think I have, now that I'm thinking about it. Because I was in a bit of a rush yesterday. That's okay though, the Dragon Rider doesn't exactly take very long. Nope, no rolling, come on. I'll probably take out the first few enemies around here just to get one specific item and also open up the arena a little bit. If you don't know what any of that means, that will become pretty clear pretty quickly. Oh no! Alright, that wasn't supposed to happen. Terrible start. Okay. I haven't done that since the first time I ever came here. Interesting factoid. Hades Tower of Flame was actually the first place I went through on my review playthrough, and technically the critical path would lead you down into the Forest of Giants on your first playthrough. I'm just going to double check this travel log. Yeah, okay. I will have to run there. Yeah, so technically you should really go to the Forest of Giants first, especially on your first playthrough. But I went through all of Hades Tower of Flame. Found it quite difficult, as you would expect. And beat the Dragon Rider. Went on past that, ended up in Old Man's Wharf. No Man's Wharf, that's what it's called. And yeah, that was that was a shocking experience. I thought it was a little bit difficult. So I ended up going back to Medulla before finishing No Man's Wharf. And just to see if there was another route around, because I know the developers have been going on about how you can kind of pick and choose your own routes through the game this time around. And then I felt really stupid because I completely missed that obvious path into the forest. And by the time I got there, I'd obviously leveled up enough that the forest was so simple. So for those wondering if you can go to Hades Tower of Flame straight away, you absolutely can. It's doable. And honestly, I think the only reason I struggled with No Man's Wharf at the time was because I hadn't quite got the grasp of the full mechanics of the game yet. Because obviously it is quite a lot different to Dark Souls in many ways. Alright, that's him dealt with. I'll come back and deal with him again in a minute. I'm just going to hit this bonfire up. I suppose I haven't used any Estus yet, so I won't bother respawning him. This guy up here, he's the important one. He only spawns once. Once you've killed him, he never respawns. But he also drops a very useful item. But his attacks are fairly difficult to predict. As you can see, he likes to take his time, and you're not always sure if he's finished. See? That was a bit cheeky. Anyway. Sublime Bone Dust. Now, I could go and use that straight away, but I don't think there's really a need to right now. What the Sublime Bone Dust does, for those who don't know, is turn your Estus Flask up to +1. So it heals a little bit extra every time you use an Estus. And try and draw this guy out. Ooh, got a cheeky clip there. I might actually retreat out and use said Estus Flask. Come on then, give me another go. Ooh, going for a strong attack. I appreciate your vigour, sir. But I found you lacking. Now this lever's useful. It's not necessary, but it makes the boss fight over in this tower over here much simpler. That would be the Tower of Flame, by the way. I don't know if you can see that especially well. But yeah, this raises an extra platform ring. Give you a little bit more room to roll around. There is another ring you can activate as well that's just in this room here, once you clear out these three guys. I'm not going to bother with it though. It's not really useful. If you need all three rings for this fight, you are doing it wrong, because you should not be backing that far away from the boss. This guy you just want to bait into attacking once, and then once he's attacked, you should be able to get through the door without him interrupting. And here we go, Dragon Rider. Dodge. Hit. Dodge. Hit. It's a pretty boring fight. You can see why I actually successfully did him first time around. Not a lot of range on this Morning Star though. Really do have to get up quite tight. That's not going to matter soon. Oh, and the bleed kicked in there as well. There he goes. So we get his soul, head up the stairs here, go and speak to Lycia. She's going to open up another area for us a bit later. Light this bonfire first.
Are you from? But the cost of it.
Hey there, Lycia. Right, with Lycia, I'm not playing a Faith build just yet. I mean, I am going to be, but I've already got a chime. She sells a pretty good ring for Faith. My understanding is it adds like 5 points of Faith, maybe, to your stats. I'm not sure. It costs 28,000 souls anyway, so it's pretty pricey. But she does have every starting Faith spell in the game, including Lightning Spear, which we are going to want. And I may actually end up buying that now, just to get it out of the way.
May the power of miracles be with you.
We do also want to talk to her, actually, just to make sure she buggers off back to Medulla.
Just that's what.
Once she starts talking about gullible people, then we can carry on. There we go. Okay.
No need for miracles.
One more rest at the bonfire, and she should disappear. There she goes. And now we're going to head down through here and towards No Man's Wharf, where I'm finally going to get the Buster Sword. And then we can properly be Cloud. Am I going the right way? I think so. Should be a lift through here. There we go. Do 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 do. No Man's Wharf is a nightmarish place if you're not speedrunning it. Which I obviously will be. To an extent, at least. I will most likely have a go at the boss. But that boss is absolutely not necessary to beat the game. It really just opens an alternate route into the Lost Bastille. But we should, once we get through this little maze of stalagmites here.
What is it?
Yeah. Now my theory on this lady.
I don't know you. And
She goes on, she wears a mask, as you can see, dresses a little bit sort of, well, I don't even know how to describe that. Posh Robin Hood-like is about as far as I can get. But between the mask, the dress, and the fact that she goes on about having a brother that disappeared without any trace,
I'm called Lucatiel, from the land of
a lot of people seem to think that the storyline intention there is that that her brother came to Drangleic. She came after him, but couldn't find him. Presumably he's dead somewhere. My theory is that her brother is actually Marvelous Chester from Dark Souls 1, because we know that Marvelous Chester dressed kind of similar, had a mask, and was ripped out of time and sent back to Ulasil at some point. But he never really expands upon that very much, he just says that it happened. So I suspect that her missing brother is actually Chester, and he is currently back in Ulasil in the past.
You are an odd one.
That's just my theory.
I can see that you are mid-journey. If you require assistance, don't hesitate.
Okay, and we can now summon her into boss battles if need be. So, easiest way through No Man's Wharf is to just run straight across this bridge, make a right, try and dodge these arrows. You want to roll past this guy, preferably not getting hit by him. Cross here, slow down here and just sort of strafe around a bit, wait for that guy to do his plunging attack. Then run straight up here, past that guy. There is actually a lockstone that can be used just down there, which is a useful thing to do because it illuminates the whole place and also drives the creatures we're about to come up against next inside. But the problem with that is that we don't want them inside right now, because I want to get through this building without too much interference. So with any luck, I'll be able to get in here. I just need to get to a chest. Specifically this one. They're going to pile through that wall, but hopefully I've got time to grab this. There's my Greatsword. I would love to speak to Gavlan, but I'll worry about that in a bit. And there's Emit Force, which is a nice miracle that you can use. So what I will do now is... Well, you know what, since we're here, I'll go and trigger that lockstone. And then maybe see how far we can get through. Might even get to the boss, you never know. Well, that guy has other ideas. Biggest problem with being naked, of course, is that you get stun locked incredibly easily. Okay, but we have the Greatsword now, which is actually called the Greatsword, but I'm going to call it the Buster Sword because it's a flipping Buster Sword, guys. There's no getting around it. You equip this thing. Oh man. I had about 8,000 souls there, didn't I, from Dragon Rider? Okay, I will go and get those souls back. But here we go. Greatsword. Straight sword with a very long blade, one of the few ultra great swords. So it's actually an ultra great sword in terms of class, it's just called the Greatsword. No human was intended to wield a sword of this weight or destructiveness. It's lucky that we're Cloud. Zombified Cloud. Only a few famed warriors have ever wielded this great blade, for it challenges the very limits of human ability. Let's equip it. It's a Buster Sword. Let's be real. It's a flipping Buster Sword. We are now Cloud. And what I love about this thing is, well, this. Look at that. Pummels things. Oh, that's satisfying. What's the jumping attack? Yeah. Roll. Big old stab. Look at the range of that stab. Crazy. Okay. Gonna repair its durability quick. And then we'll go in search of souls. And I'm actually going to... can I use that one-handed? Oh, I can. Nice. What's my strength at the moment? Oh, I do have 28 strength. Awesome. So I can just about... This requires 28 strength and 10 dex to wield one-handed. So you could do it with 14 strength and 10 dex two-handed. So since I can use it one-handed, I'm going to put a torch on the other hand so that I can... Oh, actually, there's not a lot of point. I was just thinking I can distract all of the ghouly things, but that's not going to matter in a sec because I'm going to use that lockstone. Oh, I got hit by him again. Seriously mistiming my rolls at the moment. Alright, I want to get those souls, don't I? Which may or may not be down here. Oh, they are there. That's good. Don't stun lock me. I really, really want those souls. Okay. Well, at least I picked up the souls so I can run back there again and grab them. This is by no means my most successful run through No Man's Wharf. Third time's a charm, though. I have got the Buster Sword. There isn't really a need for me to go and get that lockstone. I kind of want to do it out of principle now. With 2 failed attempts and all of my souls are over there. Alright, dude. Alright. Oh! Flip! Hit by an arrow instead, and then he got me from behind. Okay. Let's do this right. Yes, I do want to use that. Stop hitting me with things. Oh, for God's sake. Alright, yes. Follow me around in a big circle. That's the way to do it. And that will hopefully free up the lockstone. Oh no, maybe not. They're going to be hanging around up there. Alright, maybe I'll just leave it. I guess I normally have more armour on at this point, normally. Don't get stun locked quite so easily. Oh, but I really want those souls. Alright, one more go. Let's do this. Cross the bridge. Avoid arrow. Avoid dude. Strafe. Run upstairs. Make a right. Doing good so far. Dodge roll. Dodge roll. Collect souls. Dodge roll. Yes. Okay. We're off and running. Now I'm going to head back over here, down in Estus quickly, hopefully not get backstabbed. Cool. Run up past this guy, because we are going to have to go across the top to start with. There is a shortcut that can be unlocked in a sec. These things all run inside the house. And I would go and talk to Gavlan, but I don't think I really need to right now. Now, guy in here, flatten him. Although he didn't die in one hit, which I'm a little surprised at, to be honest. And that made me dead. Oh, badly timed Estus. So you can see why on my first playthrough this was a place that made me turn around when I hadn't gone to the forest first, because even now it's been a bit of a pain in the arse. This wasn't a bit of a pain in the arse, well, this wasn't this much of a pain in the arse last time I came through here though. So I'm not sure why I'm having a bit of a trouble at the moment. Ultimately this is not making for great video content, so I apologise. But I'm running on principle now. I'm going to do this. Alright. Don't have to faff around with the Forest Lockstone this time, so we can just go straight up the top. Run past this guy. And that guy. Make a left up the stairs. They actually don't pursue you up those stairs, which is interesting to note. These things are all running inside. So I'll let them be. Man. Can't believe how much hassle this guy's giving me. You see how he's got a sliver of life left after that one attack? I guess maybe I could try strong attacking him. That should make the difference. Yeah, let's do that. Strong attacks all round. Slight bigger wind up, but hopefully it will actually do the job. He's one of maybe, ooh, I don't know, 5 people I actually need to kill to do this run. I mean, it's possible, I guess, to completely run past him. I'm not sure. It'd make it a bit more of a hassle. Whoa! You came over quite far. Doesn't normally do that. Alright, I'm actually going to use a human effigy now because I am starting to lose quite a lot of life. Okay. Alright, dude. It's time to meet my strong attack. Yeah, how'd you feel about that? There's another guy up here that we're going to want to hit as well. The great thing about that strong attack is that's such a wide arc, and with this sword, hell of a range. Nowhere near as satisfying as this, obviously, but still pretty good. Alright, let's summon the ship. You can see the ship just over there. Come on in, Mr. Ship. Now, this is another section of the game that could very well end in disaster. But hopefully not. If I recall correctly... Ow, 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 ow. Not liking how their invincibility frames kicked in for quite a long time on my second swing. Man, this has just been a terrible run through this area. And it's not even necessary is the really annoying thing. I just want to whoop it now. I want to get to that boss and teach him the lesson of big swords. And I haven't even unlocked the shortcut yet, so I've got to run all the way up around the top again. Okay, that's those two dealt with. Now, with regards to these two... Can actually get to them through there. I think there's a secret room in this house is the only reason I'm messing around with it so much. Yeah, they're being complete and up pains in the arse right now. I want to grab my souls and then run upstairs. Okay, I'm not going to mess around with them anymore. They apparently are a lot harder to deal with when you're naked. Naked! Alright. What's up next? Sink another life gem. I will open the shortcut. There we go. Or maybe it's this... Ah! It's not even the other house that has a secret door, it's this one. Remember what's in here. Fire bombs. Oh, and a large shard. That'll be useful. I will get around to upgrading this sword really quickly when we go back. Okay, so down here, you want to lure this guy up, first and foremost. Deal with him. Then lure this one up. Deal with him. Man, I love that. This guy needs to be dealt with as well. Should be able to get a plunge. Now, the magic sorcery teacher is actually sat up over there if you want to unlock him. I am not going to bother with him because I don't need sorcery on this run, but he's there if you need him. The reason you kill those guys first is because they will run up and come after you once you get to a certain point on this pier. So now that we're on the boat, this is where things get a little more interesting because I need to lure these guys out if I'm going to speedrun it. I need to dodge arrows all the way along. And once they're all up here, I need to make a run for the boss room and hopefully make it before they catch up with me. We look to be good. Now, first time or not, place your bets. Didn't need to be missing that hit, really. I think that heavy attack might actually be a little bit too slow for this. I don't seem to recover in time. So I might have to stick to singular attack. Or light attack, rather. Would also help if I had some resin of some kind. Nope, dead. That's irritating. That boss really isn't that difficult, but the Greatsword does seem to be quite slow. So, what I'm going to do is counter that by doing more damage with it. So I'm going to head back to Medulla and go about upgrading it, I was about to say, but I just remembered I haven't got any souls. Okay. Do I have any resin? Oh, I have the Dragon Rider soul I could pop, I suppose. That'd probably do the job. Okay, yeah. Head back to Medulla, upgrade the Greatsword, and then we'll go and deal with the Flexile Sentry, who is not, honestly, that hard. That's probably the most problematic fight I've ever had with him. I'm also purposefully not putting points into adaptability on this run at this point because there's been a lot of debate online recently about how effective or not effective adaptability is as a stat. There's a lot of theories flying around, and I did some tests this morning and I found no difference in the things I tested between adaptability 16 and adaptability 39. And realistically, for any given build, you're never going to put more than 40 points into any given stat. So, well, for PvE anyway. So right now, I'm not seeing any benefit in terms of the things I tested. And as a result of that, I'm going to experiment with playing the game without any adaptability points. Just to see if it is as hard as It should be if it actually makes a difference. Right, I need Lenigrast in here, so I'm going to need to go and rest at the bonfire again, I suppose. Now, what's my shard situation? 5 and 1. Okay, so I'll need to buy one more shard.
And you, a man, not a rope. You're equipped.
And I should be able to get that up to +4. There we go.
I'll be around if you make it back.
Yo, lady, can I level up?
Bearer of the goodness, seek lest
It's just occurred to me that I should have Lightning Spear available to me, because I have 10 attunement, 12 faith. Oh no, I need 22 faith. Oh well. It'll come soon. Alright, take 6 or whatever this is. The shortcut's unlocked now at least, so it should be a little easier to get through. Well, I say a little easier, we'll see. It's still quite an irritating route. What it means is we can now turn right here instead of going up the top. And assuming you can dodge past these two, you can run into this building. You don't want to sprint through here because you'll wake up these three. They're all sleeping at the moment. They'll wake up eventually anyway, but you can at least get past them like this. Roll past that guy, come through here, out this door, and then we're back at the wharf. Now, once again, you will want to deal with this lot. That guy had the audacity to survive. That guy had the audacity to come out of the water and not tell me he was coming. Okay. There's a nice thing about losing to the boss here, is that the souls actually appear before you get onto the ship. So, draw these guys out again. Same routine as last time. And now make a run for the boss. Hopefully getting enough of a lead up that they won't be able to catch me before I get through the door. It's going to be close this time, but I made it. Alright then, boss man. Let's do this. Huh. So, things I'm starting to notice. I suspect that my adaptability has in fact affected one thing, which is one thing I didn't test this morning, which is iframes. My rolls were not getting through those hits especially easily. And in previous builds where I've come through here, I've always had adaptability points put in somewhere. Like, to some extent. And yeah, those rolls have never resulted in me getting hit, at least not to that reliable extent. So maybe they are actually being affected. I have no analytics for that right now, it's just going off of a gut feeling. But that's interesting. Oh, what the hell? The lock-on came off. The lock-on came off and my character turned around as a result of it. This is ridiculous. Alright, this time, it's going down. I might actually just run past those guys and see if I can improvise a speedrun strat to get to the boss without them interfering. This is how strats are developed. Throw yourself at the problem. I haven't really developed any strats for this particular area at this point, simply because... what the hell? That came out of nowhere. Stun lock is a real issue right now. Alright, maybe I'll try putting some armour on. Get that poise up, get the stun lock reduced. I've got 20% to play with. Okay, that puts us at 69%, which means we've still got a fast roll. Although my iframes are probably really reduced at this point. We'll see. My hope is that having this armour on will reduce the ability for them to stun lock me, because, man, that has been a real concern, apparently. Oh dear. Okay, let's try this again. And down a quick Estus. And see what we can do. They're really up on my arse right now, which I'm really concerned about. Having those extra 3 might mess this up. Nope, still managed to get through. That's good. Alright. Yeah, I did manage to get the firmware update on my PS3 sorted, although by no means in a good way. I actually had to completely restart my PS3, like flash it back to factory settings. And then download, obviously, all the updates following that, so not the best way to do it. Had to lose all of my data as a result. But it's fixed, so that's really the main thing. Back off and get some health. Play the safety. And that should be him. Finished. Finally. Okay. I don't think the armor made any difference whatsoever there, but you never know. There's my pyromancy flame if I ever want to use it. And now I'll just take this route over to the Bastille. I'm not going to go through the Bastille this way, but it's nice to have the extra bonfire. No, I was not willing to do that stupid... So, for those who don't know, or who didn't listen to the podcast last week, at the Big Red Barrelcast, my PS4, or rather my PS3 had a firmware update corruption that meant I couldn't access PSN, I couldn't log on. I could still play games, but I couldn't log on. And Sony's suggestion for fixing this problem was to remove the hard drive for precisely 4 seconds and put it back in. And if it wasn't precisely 4 seconds, then the data will probably stay corrupted. Which was the dumbest sounding thing I'd ever heard, and certainly wasn't going to try it. Can't believe that's a suggestion they actually put on their forums. Of course, it's slightly better than their other suggestion, which was go out and buy a new PS3. And these were all obviously if you didn't want to do the really obvious thing of completely reset your PS3 to factory settings, which I ended up doing, so yeah. Lost all my data. Bit of a pain in the arse. Fortunately, I didn't really have any mid-game saves that I cared too much about, so I got away with it in that respect. I'd already finished the review playthrough of Dark Souls 2 at that point. I just wanted to make sure I could get online so I could add that stuff to the review, but I could do that on a new playthrough. Alright, and with that clusterfuck of an enemy encounter, man, that was a bad run through No Man's Wharf. To give you context for that, the last time I ran through No Man's Wharf to get, just for the sake of getting souls from the boss, I actually managed to do that in probably 2 attempts, like 1 death. So the fact that that took me this entire time is ridiculous, but I'm probably going to call it a day there once I've leveled up. And then we'll come back hopefully tomorrow with a playthrough that isn't terrible. Oh, what a bad night this has been for Dark Souls 2. I know what it is. It's the fact that I just went out for breakfast, but for dinner. It's dinner time and I had a big pancake. And it was great, but it's filled me up something chronic. And I don't think I'm feeling great. and that's the reason I'm going to give as to why I was playing terribly. Because it couldn't be my fault. Could it?
Bearer of the curse. Seek the king.
Oh, maybe it is. Have we got any shards? No. Level up. We're going to get that faith up so I can get lightning spear. What can you get? 16? I've got another solder pop now, of course. So I back away from her. Hit the sentry soul. And I got a large soul of a proud knight that I might pop as well, because why not?
Seek the lest this.
Alright, we're up to 19. We're now 3 points off being able to cast Lightning Spear, which I suspect will be just as fun as it was in the first game. I'm going to burn this Sublime Bone Dust. Some force has strengthened Yester's flask. So now I got 4 Esther's flask plus 1s, which is cool. What rings have I got on right now? I've got Chloranthy Stone and Blades. Have I not got a 4th? Huh. Sure, I normally have a 4th by now. Dunno. Oh, you know what? Maybe it's the blue thing. Never mind. Was there something else I wanted to do? Got the bone dust. Got the level ups. Got my Buster Sword. My sweet ass Buster Sword. What's up? Oh! I can go and buy that shield. Hey man. Give me the shield with incredible stability, please. This shield doesn't have 100% damage reduction. It's actually 95%. So you will let some damage through, but 65 stability, which compared to 50 and 45 is excellent.
Thanks very much. And do please come again.
I will come again, maybe. Probably not though. Got you a pretty good shield now. Okay, human effigy because I hate not being human. What up? Can now equip that shield. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Can't parry with this thing. It does that instead. Like a shield break. But still, it's a good looking shield. Pretty good set I got going on now. Anyway. That is us done for the day. So I'm going to rest at this bonfire. Get my health refilled. And then say bye-bye. Bye-bye. I'll play better next time, I promise.